welcome to episode 96 of BigRedBarel Geek Speak, your place for all your nerdy needs on BigRedBarel.com. I am your host Lauren, the badass of Borderlands, and with me as always is the Baroness of Butts at Amber's Auntie Alex.
Homecoming butt! I've not said that in a while.
With a crown and everything?
Duh!
And the jaunty, jubilant juggernaut of Joe.
Hello! The band is back together, butts!
Yeah! Right, kicking off as we always do with our time waster of the week, and we have one from our dear Alex. Would you like to explain it to us?
Okay, so there's this YouTuber called Pop Culture Detective where this guy talks about male masculinity in popular culture. Now, I know how it sounds. It's not kind of like that. It's actually very decently done, nice quality videos, very thoughtful. I tend to agree with him a lot, actually. And he's got many videos that are worth watching, but the one I particularly wanted to discuss, because it kind of relates to our interests, is the unfulfilled potential of video games. Basically, his point is that, especially after E3, he comes a little bit disappointed with the creativity of video gaming industry, because about 80% of video games are shown involve the principle of killing or being killed. And the other 20% games that are non-violent, or he doesn't even say that they're non-violent, they can probably still be violence in them. There isn't just the game mechanics that center around killing or being killed. Out of those 20%, there's like a large proportion of sports games, so your footballs and your car chases and so on and so on. And then there's the rest. And so his argument is, yeah, basically that it's a very kind of uncreative thing to do, that the most interesting thing that we can come up when playing video games is let's shoot some people. And don't get me wrong, I love shooting people in video games. Just had to add that there.
Yeah, I'm glad you finished that sentence.
Yeah, I like doing that like any other person. I enjoy it, but I also really love the other experiences. The walking simulators that don't have shooting, the heavy narrative games, the weirdo games, and, well, I do try to play a lot of them, like, you know, I jumped on the bandwagon with Firewatch as soon as they came out. I might have not loved Virginia, but I played it as soon as they came out as well, because I like interesting stuff that has something different to say about video gaming rather than go there, shoot that guy. And I agree with his video a lot.
I absolutely adored The Witness, but that is still on the level of my other favourite games, Borderlands and Diablo, which are pretty much kill, little bit of story, kill some more. So everything has its place, but I think it's because it is like the ultimate fantasy for a lot of people, I think, because it's not something that normal people should do in everyday life. So it's another part of escapism, I suppose.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, it's exciting. Like, there's certainly a definite part of the human psyche that gets excitement out of violence. I mean, I'm a pacifist in real life, and I cannot bear violence in real life. Like, I can't watch a boxing match. It just, like, really upsets me. But when it comes to movies and games, for some reason, it's kind of exciting, and you kind of, like, get into it, and the action and stuff like that. And it's kind of, yeah, there's some sort of weird thing in the human psyche that's sort of like it's letting you live out the things that you know you can't do, or that you don't even want to do in real life. And it's, yeah, like a weird sort of cathartic, weird way of experiencing these things. What I take from his video the most is that the balance is just massively off. And There's definitely reasons for this. I think, obviously, games with violence in are more commercially successful a lot of the time. So a lot of the time big studios rely on that because it's kind of easy way to make money. You could argue it's a bit lazy, but, you know, they're all in it to make money. If they don't make money, then they crash and burn.
Can you think of a AAA game that is not sports that doesn't have a shooting mechanic?
God, off the top of my head, not a AAA one.
Yeah, it's hard, right?
Yeah.
No, like specifically a AAA game. Because there's a lot of indies that do all the fantastic, interesting things.
Yeah.
But they are not at the full front of E3, let's say, which is, you know, the biggest promotion for games.
I can think of plenty of, like, middle ground games that aren't what you'd call proper indie, but are kind of not big enough to be AAA either, that cross that line a little bit, and they're not all about violence. But yeah, it's a bit hard to think of, like, a proper big AAA game that doesn't have some sort of violent combat in it, whether it's shooting or stabbing or, some sort of fighting mechanic. So yeah, his video was really interesting, and I think a lot of people might look at his challenge and think he's just like the anti-Anita Sarkeesian, that he's just going to go that far in the other direction. But from that video that you've shared, I'm not sure that's the case. I think he's actually very measured, and he makes a lot of good points.
He's absolutely not. When he's exploring the masculinity, he is not exploring he's highlighting the toxic masculinity that there is.
Yeah.
But he's actually trying to define what it is and how it is not what very typically generically perceived as masculinity, that there are different types and so on and so on. Yeah, he had a very interesting video about representation of women in sci-fi movies that I thought was again spot on. And he was talking about Newt Scamander, which I've not finished it, but he was talking about how that is like an unusual masculinity that we don't have that much in the movies.
I love that character. I thought that character was amazing, Newt Scamander, because you're right, he's not like the typical masculine lead at all, and it was really, really refreshing for sure.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what he's saying. Check out his channel. It's really good. As I said, videos are really well thought out, really high quality production. They're all about 15 minutes long, and there aren't that many. Like, I think the channel started quite recently, and because the videos are very, very well done, they do take a while to come out, but when they do, it's absolutely worth it. He's got some really brilliant ideas.
Absolutely. So check that out. The link will be in the show notes down below. And we're going to get into the meat of everything.
Yeah, so let's start talking about violent games. Yay! What we're playing.
Violence, death, and maybe some dancing. So we're going to kick off with Resident Evil 7. Alex, how have you been enjoying it?
Well, I'm putting it on the agenda because we finished it. And I kind of did not expect to finish it.
Oh, I missed the end then.
I know, you have.
Do you know the end?
Yeah, I know the end.
Okay. Those who don't, I'm going to assume they may be spoilers.
No. I won't spoil anything. You can go absolutely spoiler free. I don't really want to talk about the end that much. But yeah, as if you didn't know, for the last months, me and Julia were playing Resident Evil for cookies and booze. And then last Sunday, we sat down to play the game after a quite longsome break that we took because we were doing travels and other stuff. And then we were playing the game, and I'm like, wait, is this the end? And she's like, yeah, it feels like the end. I'm like, what? How is this the end? Like, it came so unexpected. I full on sat there preparing to spend 2 or 3 more streams playing this game, and then it just ended. And I was like, oh.
So what are you going to play next?
We're going to play Mass Effect Andromeda. But before I get off that topic, Resident Evil, I mean, obviously, Joe, you spoke about it before when you played it for the first time, and we agree. I think it's a really, really excellent game, and it can be scary, it's gory, it's freaking confusing sometimes. Not mummy level. I don't know why, it's just weird. But the thing that I really love about that game is the protagonist, Ethan. Because in so many games, you feel like the protagonist is completely disjointed from what you are feeling or thinking. And Ethan was so on point with everything else. When you come into place and you think, what the F? Ethan is saying, what the F? And you're like, yeah, Ethan, it's okay to be weirded out by this stuff, because we are.
You feel it with him.
Yeah. He is completely us, because he is not just accepting that weird stuff is happening to him. Like, he is questioning stuff, and he gets, like, annoyed at things. And so many times, we express the same emotion, only for seconds later for him to say something on the same line, or pretty much exactly the same. And that is so nice. It's so simple, but that is so refreshing and nice that you can just, like, can go, yeah, you tell them, Ethan. That's weird. So yeah, I really appreciated that. And yeah, as I said, really enjoyed it. I don't think I would have played that game if I didn't play it for the stream. It's too scary. Too scary. Too scary to worry. Joe, without going into spoilers, what was your favorite level bit?
Ooh, that's really tough to say. I liked the earlier parts of the game where everything's kind of where you don't really know what's going on, and there's lots of creepy atmospheric moments, and the parts where you're exploring the first parts of the big house. For me, I didn't enjoy the stuff in the boat as much, like
Yeah.
ship that's but it was still great, but I was just, by that point I was kind of like, yeah, this isn't as creepy to me as the stuff in the house. It's not as impressive.
Yeah, I agree. Like, we were really freaked out playing the first game, and there was lots of jump scares. By the time we got to the boat, it was like, just give me the gun, I want to shoot some.
Yeah, it was kind of like, right, let's just power through, let's get through this bit, you know. Yeah, because I don't know if it's in my world, I didn't enjoy playing the other character as much.
yeah, I can see that.
I won't go into details, but yeah, I wanted to be back with Ethan all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good. I also really liked the bit with all the puzzles, you know, the bit I mean where you do the puzzle with the clown.
Yeah, I was gonna say that happy birthday tape was my favourite thing about the game.
And yeah, I like the tape mechanic. I thought the VHS bit was really clever, like playing through sections of the game from someone else's perspective because of these VHS tapes that you watch.
Yeah.
That was cool. Yeah, but overall, it's such a great game. It's really kind of given the series the sort of kick up the bum that it needed. Yeah, I was very impressed with it.
The other thing that I can think of that put it down to me a little bit was the ending boss. I don't know, maybe we just got so much better at the game than we were at the beginning, but the first couple of bosses, they were really challenging, but good challenging, like frustrating but good frustrating, you know, that kind of man. And then the last boss, that's what I'm saying, that's why the feeling, oh, is this the end game? Because we got through it on the first try, and we're like, okay, so this is it? That doesn't feel like it's the end boss. It was creepy and big enough.
No, it definitely...
you would expect, but it wasn't challenging.
It definitely kind of felt as well like it was pretty generic end of game, big boss type thing. Whereas the other bosses in the game are really kind of a bit unique and clever, and they each sort of match the character of the person you're fighting, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas, the end boss is just kind of like a big, massive monster nonsense. But it was fine, you know, it was fine. It didn't really detract that much for me from the overall game. I still think it's a great game.
I don't know, it probably took us about 10 hours or something to play it, and for what it is, I think it's a great 10-hour experience.
Yeah.
And I'll keep an eye on it if Tim actually decide to play it in VR, but he's been deciding that for months now, so we'll see where that goes.
I would play it in VR. I would try it in VR.
Come over. We'll
I might have to.
But yeah, no, I really loved it, and I think I get a new appreciation because I've not, as I said, I don't think it wouldn't be my own choice to play that game. If I wasn't playing it with someone and we weren't enjoying each other getting freaked out as much, I would never play this game. And it is really, really good. And I think gives me a new appreciation of other things as well. Like, the experience adds up. And I'm really glad I played that game.
Good.
Awesome. Speaking of something also, well, horror zombie-esque, Joe, you've been playing Bloodborne.
Yeah, again. I'm like an addict.
It's not like Bloodborne was everything she talked about.
Honestly, I'm like a dirty addict where Bloodborne's concerned. So when it first came out, I played it all the way through, completely loved it, beat every boss, and just thought, this is incredible, love this game. And I've not really played it that much since, did a little bit of New Game Plus, but not much. But then our dear friend Brad has started playing it again, and he was all like, oh, I love this game. And I was like, oh my god, what have you done? I need to play it again right now. and so, yeah, for this past week, I've just been sort of maining Bloodborne again. I started from scratch, did a completely new build. So, like, in my previous playthrough, I did a strength build. So I was using, like, the big axe and that was fine. But I wanted to do a skill-based build this time. So I'm fighting with the threaded cane, which is just awesome fun. And it has, like, a whip on it, and it's just great. But yeah, I mean, Bloodborne is still a completely fantastic game. I really love the Souls series generally, and although this isn't technically in the Souls series, it pretty much is. And it's my favourite compared to the Dark Souls games. I prefer Bloodborne to them, just I think because I prefer the world and the lore and the characters and all that stuff. But yeah, it's so good. It's just, oh, I love that game so much. And I'm doing the platinum for it, so I have to finish this playthrough, do a New Game Plus playthrough, collect a couple of things, and do the Chalice dungeons. So it's totally achievable. I can definitely do it, but it's just going to take a bit of time.
Speaking of doing platinum, quick shout out to this week's PS Plus games, because you should totally get them. Telltale's Game of Thrones, maybe not.
Yeah.
But Until Dawn,
awesome game.
And I've looked for the trophies to see how many times I need to play the game to get a platinum trophy, and that's a lot of times.
Yeah, I did it. I did it when that game came out, and I think I played it through like 4 times.
I mean, it's not that long. I've played played maybe 2-3 hours of it.
No, that's the thing. And to be fair, it was such a great game, and I loved it so much because I love that kind of horror movie homage thing. It's like Cabin in the Woods, the game.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure to do. It was one of the most fun platinums I've ever done. So yeah, if you've not played Until Dawn, you need to get that on PS Plus. It's brilliant.
Guys, it's free and it is just such a fantastic game.
Yeah, it's so good. It's really fun to play in a group as well. Like, get a group of friends around and you can all kind of like argue over what you want to do, and it's really good.
And because this game, Until Dawn, it's, you know, as I said, it's really small. Maybe 6 hours or 5 hours or something when you play it. You can basically like get the group together, play it one time, and then meet up again and play it another time. It'll be pretty much just 2 sittings of you playing that game, and there's going to be so much enjoyment out of it. But sorry, getting you sidetracked from Bloodborne talk.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much more to say. People should know what Bloodborne is. If you're into Dark Souls and stuff, then you're gonna love Bloodborne.
I love watching it being played. The the Cool Ghost Bloodborne series done by Matt Lees is really good. So if you just want a kind of overview of the series, it's kind of like Bloodborne Diaries. So it's not an entire playthrough. It's kind of like key sections with Matt Lee's wonderful narration. So check that out if you're unsure.
Will you put the link in the show notes?
Will do.
Awesome. Bloodborne is probably in my top 5 games ever, like games of all time. So to play it again and to finally get around to doing the platinum is just an absolute pleasure. So yeah, having a good time with that. But it does mean that I'm not playing anything else right now.
Is there a good ranged attack build in Bloodborne at all?
That's not really what Bloodborne is about. Like, people who play Dark Souls kind of
with it. I'm always attacking from afar.
Yeah, people who play Dark Souls with the shield and poke with a spear kind of mechanic are not going to get on with Bloodborne so much because it is very offensive. It's kind of like if you get hit, you hit straight back because you get this regain system, which means that if you take some damage, if you hit straight back, you can get the health back off the enemy, which is just awesome, and it encourages you to keep being offensive and to keep taking chances and dodging around and fighting. So it's very fast, which I think is why I prefer it to Dark Souls, because it's faster, the combat is more fluid, and it's more sort of exciting to me to play. Not that Dark Souls is bad, Dark Souls is amazing, but Bloodborne for me is just that little bit more exciting in terms of combat and stuff. But yeah, there's a weapon in the DLC, which is a bow, and it's fine. Yeah, so you can use it for ranged attacks, but really you'd be better off like using it as an alternate weapon and kind of softening an enemy up from afar with it, and then kind of getting in and transforming the weapon and hitting them in the face.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, so there is range a little bit, but it's not what the game's about.
I know, that is my problem, because we did play Dark Souls 3 for a little while, and we sucked. We sucked so much. We sucked so hard. It's unbelievable.
Dark Souls 3 is hard.
This is why I think we had the stream, because people could just come in and laugh, and in Dark Souls, it's actually genuinely entertaining to see someone fail at it, because there's so many people that put videos up online who are really good at Dark Souls, and they tell you how to go for the boss, but no one puts the videos of someone completely sucking at Dark Souls and dying all the time, and we were there for you then.
Dark Souls 3 is great. I really like it because it was a bit faster than previous Dark Souls, so it's kind of almost like they took some lessons from Bloodborne and implemented them into Dark Souls a little bit. So you can play as like a thief build or a rogue build, I can't remember the exact name, and you can be a lot faster and kind of dodge about a bit, which is how I played it. I didn't actually finish Dark Souls 3. I should probably go back to that at some point in the future. They're such great games.
There's a couple more series. Cool Ghost also did Dark Souls Diaries, and Game Grumps also did the entirety of Bloodborne, including the DLC. So if you do want to see people messing up as well, that's another one to watch, and that's a lot of episodes, about 10-15 minutes each. There's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, they're not short games.
No,
the hours I've put in.
Especially when you mess up all the time.
Yeah. But love it. Love it so much. So yeah, that's going to be my life for the foreseeable future, I think. Which is just, it makes me laugh because I've got a pile of games that I really need to play, like things like The Evil Within that I really want to play before the new one comes out.
Yeah, can you please play for it and tell me if it's good for the stream?
Oh, it will be great for the stream. 100%.
It's okay. As I said, we have like 2 years of played Mass Effect and Andromeda. It will be fine for a while.
Don't play Mass Effect, play Evil Within instead.
we will do at some point, but I do want to play. I do want Julia to play for it because she is a Mass Effect fan and she's not played it, and we need to catch up because I need to talk to her about it. God damn it!
But yeah, so I have this. It's ridiculous. I have games that, like, I still have PS3 games that I've not played yet. You know, it's just this pile of games that's just growing ever larger, and all I can do at the moment is play Bloodborne and Overwatch. So I'm just, yeah, I am a disgrace.
Oh, bless.
But Lauren, get Until Dawn.
Yeah,
play it.
I will. I've already got games to play today. Today's my first day off full day off in bloody months. I've got a Limbo-esque game to play, and I may play Until Dawn. See how freaked out I get.
Yeah, it's so good. I think you'd like it. I think you'd like Until Dawn.
Yeah, I do know the story. I did research it. I couldn't help myself. But, well, I've forgotten the decision tree, so that's fine. It'll still be a surprise to me. But continuing the theme of death and violence, but in a different medium. I have been reading a book, shock horror, called The End Specialist. Have either of you heard of it?
No, but it sounds interesting.
Okay, I was drawn to it because of the cover. Obviously, like my wines, I picked books by the cover, and it had a Grim Reaper being stabbed by his own sickle.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it sounded pretty cool. Unlike traditional linear storytelling, this is done as a digital journal of a guy called John Farrell. He's 29 years old, and it starts in the year 2019. In this year, a cure for aging has been found and started to administer to people. And people are calling it the cure for death. But you can still die. It's just your body stops degrading as soon as you take this thing. And it's through genetic manipulation, genetic modification. Kind of like gene therapy.
Ew.
Yeah, so they take a sample of your blood. They modify some of your genes within the plasma, inject it back into you with a vector, which changes the rest of the genes in your cells in your body, and it pretty much just stops you aging at whatever age you're at. So John Farrell gets it at the age 29, and we see his story as he continues living for many, many, many years. And the implications on society from this. So as it's done in blog posts, it's done in short snippets, like there's links to articles on the internet, well, fictional articles, obviously, like little links and excerpts from other people's experiences, and traditional blog posts, like diary entries. And it's really intriguing how, it makes perfect sense how the world would kind of react to it. It shows a lot of terrorist groups. There's real life trolls who have come off the internet because they're not getting the rise out of people as they were anymore, because people aren't staying on the internet as much because they can do anything without really worrying about dying. So these trolls come into real life and start enacting kind of terrorist things, like going up to people, finding out their real age and cutting it into their arms.
Ow.
And their birthdays, how old are you? So I'm 29. It's like, what's your birthday? That's an actual threat in this society. And the socio-economic impact of this on government resources, everything like that, and how it kind of comes full circle. People find this amazing kind of fountain of youth, but what happens when it goes sour?
Yeah.
All the traditional institutions kind of fall, like marriage, for example. You wouldn't think that would change, but the entire format of human relationships kind of shift. Because the whole idea now is, I could be alive indefinitely if I don't get stupid. You can still get cancer, you can still get different things. If you get the cure in your prime, you're pretty much set. You're good to go. Obviously, you have sclerosis of the liver. If you drink too much, you can do all these other things. But if you look after yourself, kind of like death becomes her, you're good indefinitely. It also changes the whole religious kind of state of point of that universe. Where is your God now? We don't have to pray to him to stay alive. It's science. It's us that do it. And they create this entire new church, this entire new ideology based on the self. And it's really, really intriguing read. And some of the things that have happened recently kind of make me think about situations in the book. It's that's kind of allegorical, because this came out in 2011, so that is 6 years ago now. And over the last 2 years, we've had so much messed up stuff that I'm reading through this. It's just okay, yeah, this is a true reflection on society. We got different things, but it's society would break down in a similar way. So this is entirely plausible, which is quite saddening. But it is a really, really good read. It's The End Specialist by Drew Magary. It's on Amazon. You can get it for 99p on Kindle, £8 for paperback, but they even got it used for like £2.80. So it's worth a read.
Sounds really scary, actually. Like the thought of, when you completely discard the natural order of things, like what would happen to certain, and obviously would the population just massively increase over time?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You've
Yeah.
got so much people living there.
God, and it sounds
and
horrible.
Then
like
that's how Okja comes in.
Yeah. The world would just be full of millennials forever.
Pretty much that was essentially it. So like there was one section where kids, like you couldn't get the cure part unless you were over 21. And then there was like TV executives trying to give it to their 14-year-old cast members so they wouldn't have to recast in the future. There's military in, sorry Alex, but Russia, imposing it onto their military personnel so they have
soldiers forever.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's the whole Chinese aspect of it, because China currently has it's either 1 or 2 child policy. I think it's still one child policy.
Single child policy. I think.
So that is to stop exponential population growth. But now no one's dying. So there's bits where people are actually killing pregnant women because they are going to be a drain on resources and it's another mouth to feed. And then there's some weird, really, really messed up stuff early on in the whole cure cycle, like early on when it's being introduced. The Chinese government are doing it. It's just like, this is scarily plausible, like in general.
Yeah. Sounds really interesting. I think I might have to read this. It sounds really interesting.
I'll give it to you when I'm done. I've got like one little chapter left, but it's a drop-in, drop-out book because it's done as blog posts.
Yeah,
it's not really a linear story.
You can do it. Yeah, that's cool. I don't think I'd take that. I don't think I'd want to take it. Like if it was real, I don't think I'd want to do it because I kind of like the idea of becoming an old lady and turning into Angela Lansbury. That's what I want to do. I want to be Jessica Fletcher for real.
Oh, do it. Do it.
I want to go and live by the seaside and solve crime.
And write novels.
Yeah, why not? That sounds ace.
You know what? I can actually absolutely imagine you doing that. That is kind of perfect.
That'd be brilliant. So yeah, no, scary.
I really like the books that are what-if books. So everything's exactly the same, but there is one thing that changes, and then the book explores how that one thing has almost like a domino effect throughout the world. And I find that really fascinating because there's lots of things that are familiar to us in those books. Lots of things that haven't changed. Like you said, you can absolutely totally believe that the effects that Not Ancient had in these books could be a real thing.
Oh yeah,
so they
absolutely.
have that effect of it being, well, this could happen to us, which is super powerful. But at the same time, they introduce this really fun what-if element where you get to think about that. So I know I keep bringing him up, but Lock In by John Scalzi does that as well. In that book, there is a virus that's going through people that basically locks them in their body.
Oh.
After a time, people learn how to deal with it and how to... I don't really want to spoil it that much, but how to make people who are locked inside their body, how make their life livable.
That's
so
a real
speak.
thing, though. That's a real syndrome. There was that film, The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, that kind of explored that. It's an excellent film.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. Like books and films and stuff like that are really interesting. Like Children of Men, that's just popped into my head.
Yeah.
The book for that is great, as well as the film's obviously magnificent. But the book is really good and a little bit different from the film. But yeah, kind of that sort of what if, but you can picture yourself in it because it's like is anyone else watching The Handmaid's Tale on Channel 4 at the moment?
No, I do want to, but the book is so fantastic.
Yeah, the show. I haven't read the book, but the show is kind of, you can imagine that being a thing. Like, it's quite scary, especially from a female perspective. Like, I can imagine men watching it, it'd be all right for me. But for women, it's just horrid. So I think that's quite an interesting sort of scenario.
This book is very, very old. I don't remember exactly when it came out, but it's been out for a while. And Margaret Atwood writes brilliant books.
Yeah.
Like, really thoughtful. I mean, The Handmaid's Tale it's the constant joke because it came out, I need to check out when it came out because it's driving me insane. 2011? That seems a bit too...
That seems recent. That might have been a reprint.
That seems... Yeah.
I think it's
probably
older than that.
Yeah, it's relevant no matter what time it is. It's like, it's always relevant when Trump stuff comes along and all that kind of related issues to that.
Yeah.
That
Scary.
kind of worldview. People are like, well, Handmaid's Tale still relevant.
It's very relevant at the moment. It's scarily relevant, you know. But there's so many great books like that and great films as well, and things like Fahrenheit 451.
Oh, there we go. Okay, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
1985
Yeah.
is when it came out.
Oh,
Amazing.
wow.
But yeah, so, you know, like you say, there's so many examples, like great examples of novels, films, all sorts of things that examine the kind of what if scenario. Really good. But yeah, that book sounds really interesting, Lauren. I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, same.
Dear listeners, if you have a favourite what if scenario book, please let us know on the Twitters or in the forum. We would like to explore this vision with you. All right, let's get on to something a bit more lighter, a bit more frivolous.
Yay!
And Alex, what have you been watching?
I watched La La Land, the almost Oscar-winning movie.
Almost. Yeah, it got so close. I'm glad it didn't win, to be honest.
Okay, I'll get to it in a second, but La La Land, it's a romance story about Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, and she's an actress, he's a jazz musician, and they're basically trying to make it in Hollywood. That's all there is, and the story is entirely predictable. I mean, if you say you didn't expect it to end the way it ended, I don't know. The story is also a little bit of a fairy tale.
I found it a bit of a sort of almost like a warning, kind of, because these two people are inherently selfish, and for me the message of the film was like, you can't have it both ways. If you're going to be really selfish and go after what you want as an individual, then you might not get what you truly want in the long run, kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I read it.
It was a weird one. I mean, it is one of those things that always say that is kind of, you can't have both things.
Yeah.
You know? That's what it's saying a lot, which, as a person who always tries to have both things, I'm a bit iffy about. But overall, it has really nice music, it is beautiful, it's colorful, it is incredibly pleasant experience. Like, if you just want to have a really uplifting, nice thing to watch La La Land, because if you don't walk away from it kind of smiling a little bit, there must be something dead inside you, because it's just so colorful and fun and happy most of the time. All, the positive emotions and positive signals it's sending from the screen right at you.
Gets a bit depressing later on, though.
I've never fancied it myself, to be honest.
I liked it. I wanted more songs, actually, and I found that the last third of the movie, it gets a bit less about the songs and the fun and things like that, and it becomes way too involved in the sort of the romantic storyline, I guess, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it loses what made the first sort of half, 2/3 of the film really kind of fun and exciting.
Is it a musical?
Yeah, it is kind of, yeah.
The first part of it, at some point, it completely drops all the secondary characters that you've ever had.
Yeah.
Mia's friends, they disappear. They appear once, they sing one song, they all wear pretty dresses, and then they're never important ever again. That kind of thing. And, and same with Sebastian's sister. She kind of appears once, tells him off, tells him, get your stuff together, and then reappears again without doing anything. It's a bit more kind of diverse, and their lives are more for people, and then as you go on later on, it just becomes about them too. And look, they're super talented, both of them. They can hold their screen as much as they want. But what I'm trying to say is that this movie is not at all perfect by any means, and it does many, many mistakes. And that's why when I watched it, I was like, well, that was nominated for Oscar? Really?
Yeah, that's why I said I was glad it didn't win.
It doesn't feel like it.
I think it was great, and obviously Hollywood just loved it because it was like a love letter to Hollywood. You know, it was kind of all about...
Oh, it definitely is. And, I love all about that. The costumes, the staging, the way it's set in modern times but has this very old Hollywood feel. That's all fantastic. That's all done very, and it's gorgeous, and some shots are just fantastic. But the story-wise, I think, seriously, the story is what brings it down. And brings it down to some town. What's the
But Ryan Gosling, he's always good to look at. That was fine. And I love Emma Stone. She's great.
I love Emma Stone. I've never found Ryan Gosling attractive. He's got weird eyes.
Oh my God, he's hot. Oh, that boy is hot.
Nah.
apparently,
Yeah,
I think I read that he's a vegetarian as well, which just makes it even better.
Okay.
Nah.
Joe Boner.
So I'm not even fussed about him in the new Blade Runner. I just want to see it for bloody Han Solo. I know it's not Han Solo. Deckard.
The most exciting thing for me about the new Blade Runner is the fact that it's directed by Denis Villeneuve. That's going to be good.
No, I just want to see old school Decker. Love a bit of Harrison Ford, me, if you didn't guess.
Yeah.
Oh
If
dear.
you still didn't know after listening to 90-something episodes of Geek Speak, there you go.
We were even
Reminder
discussing
again.
it before the blooming show. God damn it.
But yeah, La La Land, I think it's a really uplifting, cheerful movie. If you're depressed, watch it. You'll probably get better.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's an Oscar-worthy thing. It's a really nice movie with really nice songs, but the awards, I don't know. I don't really understand it, but I've enjoyed it. Is the point I'm making?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm with you, Alex. I think it's a great movie, and it is good. It's like a good fun time, sort of Sunday afternoon kind of. Yeah, let's watch a fun film with dancing in it and singing, and it's sunny.
Yeah, while
and
eating breakfast or something.
and it's all it's all cool. But yeah, I was glad that when they read it out at the Oscars that it was actually a mistake, because apparently
Yeah.
Moonlight is the much better film. So
I think because Amazon is doing like a Prime Day or something.
oh, that's right, they are.
Yeah, and I think Moonlight is going for 99p, so I
Ooh.
might
Oh,
get
wow.
that.
Yeah, I need to watch that.
I think I saw it yesterday. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty
I've heard
sure
it's
I did.
amazing, so yeah, I need to watch that.
Right, so another little movie. You may have heard of it. I think it was slightly under the radar. It's kind of an indie flick. Joe and Alex, I think you might have seen it in like a limited screening because it's not out everywhere. Because I don't think they're going to release it worldwide. Spider-Man Homecoming?
No, it's just a really small, low-key thing.
Really small. Yeah, absolutely. So, how are you finding it?
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. I thought this was great.
Is that in it?
I-
Because if that's in it,
Yeah.
that's I'll go
Yeah,
watch it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Kind
it's
of,
really
yeah.
cool. They use it as the opening music.
I know, it's really funny because I basically spent the whole day annoying Tim by singing Spider-Man
Nice.
does whatever Spider can, just to see if it gets to him at some point. And then the opening credits show up and the music goes and I'm next to him, I say, Spider-Man! And he's like, yes, dear. Yes, that's the music.
Oh, it's so good. I love this film. I thought it was awesome.
Well, before you go anywhere,
Yeah.
we're not going to spoil this.
No,
Because it's
no,
very
no.
recent. We're just going to talk general impressions
spoilers.
and general things we like. There's not going to be spoilers there, so go for it. Don't worry about it.
And stay to the very end. Trust me on this. Stay to the absolute very end.
Yeah, I've enjoyed that bit.
Yeah. But yeah, it's so good. I wasn't sure like how well this was going to work, because obviously it's a new Spider-Man, Tom Holland, who obviously we saw appear in the more recent Avengers film, who was great. Like he was really cool in that, and it was quite a nice little scene that he was in. But I wasn't sure how it would translate well to a whole new Spider-Man movie. I mean, think how many Spider-Man films we've had in recent history.
Oh, too many.
And I was a big fan of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, apart from Spider-Man 3, obviously.
See, I had a problem.
Emo
I
man.
just never found Tobey Maguire to be enticing enough. I don't know. Those Spider-Mans left me a little bit cold.
I thought he was great. I think Spider-Man 2 is still probably the best Spider-Man film. The one with Doc Ock in. I just think that's absolutely magnificent, that film. But yeah, this new one is so much fun. It has such a great sense of humour. The action is great. He's a great Spider-Man, actually. Like, he manages to sit on that fine line with Spider-Man of being cocky but also charming at the same time.
And insecure.
A little bit unsure of himself, and he's got that teenage kind of insecurity down, as well as that confidence of, hey, I'm Spider-Man, that kind of swagger. Michael Keaton's awesome in it as the Vulture.
God,
That's
Michael.
really
He's
cool.
always awesome, though.
Yeah,
Michael
for
Keaton's
sure.
amazing.
Tony Stark, Iron Man, he's in it, and he's like Iron Man, so that's fine. Yeah, I thought it was
Robert
awesome.
Downey Jr. being Robert Downey Jr. Who doesn't want more
Yeah,
of that?
exactly. But
Oh,
I didn't expect it to be so funny. And it had such a great soundtrack as well, and it was just a real laugh. Like, it was just really enjoyable. But yeah, what do you think, Alex? I've been sort of just blathering on.
No. I absolutely agree. I really loved it. The nice thing for me is that I kind of didn't see things coming when the things happen. I was like, oh, right. And it's really, I don't know, maybe it was just me, but I tend to see the plot twists of movies coming ahead of that one.
Yeah.
And this one, I only saw seconds before it actually happened. And I was like, oh, right, that is really interesting. And I really like that as well. The problem with Andrew Garfield's stuff in school, that it was a little bit, I don't know, too boring, too generic. I was never really interested in watching that. Here, I really enjoyed everything they did. I kind of know who his girlfriend is. It's a bit on the nose, especially on the kind of after the last scene. It's fine. That is kind of the predictable part of it. I like that they've given him his best friend and later on as well someone else to talk to, so he doesn't actually have to like narrate to himself all the time.
Yeah.
It makes more believable. He's actually discussing what he's doing with other people, which is nice. So you get that kind of chemistry and that kind of fun. And Spider-Man, he's a teenager fighting crime. It's completely understandable that he wouldn't want to kill people and stuff like that. And that it was a very almost, I'd say, non-lethal movie in a sense like that. I mean, they fight and there are dangerous situations. Yeah. And I'd say there are some things that I find it really hard to believe how Peter Parker didn't get hurt. Like, it seems like that thing, whether you're a superhero or not a superhero, would do some serious damage to you regardless. But okay, fine, it's a hero movie. suspend my disbelief a little bit. But other than that, yeah, I think it's really, really, really great. Again, the only other criticism I would say is that I wish the last big fights were a bit less CGI reliant.
Yeah, that's the typical Marvel thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a superhero trope now. Yeah.
They've sort of backed themselves into a corner with that, and it's like all of their films have to end with like a big CGI smackdown. I mean, I don't think it was quite as bad in this, as in like if you look at like Doctor Strange, it's just like, oh, it's bloody exhausting. The last sort of
No, it makes sense that scene was really cool. I really enjoyed it. But maybe a bit more like Civil War, a little less CGI.
Yeah, Civil War was cool. So yeah, I think we're both in agreement. Spider-Man is awesome. Go see it.
Yeah.
We've kind of actually been spoiled. Like, I know people say like, oh, I'm so sick of comic book movies. There's nothing new. They're all the same, really boring. But we've kind of actually done all right this year. So like we had Logan, which was awesome. We had Wonder Woman, which was bloody amazing. And we've had Spider-Man.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Sorry. Oh yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians
2,
of the Galaxy, yeah.
So actually, we're kind of doing all right, really, for comic book movies this year.
I can't remember. I mean, what was the last one that I kind of felt called on? Well, I think it was Doctor Strange.
Yeah, same, I think.
But since then, it's thumbs ups all around.
Definitely.
A few months ago, I spoke about going to Mina Lima, which is a little pop-up shop for Harry Potter stationery. You've seen something else, haven't you, Alec?
Yes, so I went to Pottermore Pop Up Shop in Portobello Road. So Pottermore, if you don't know, it's a big website dedicated to Harry Potter. It has like encyclopedia of all the different stuff and some tidbits from the universe. It's got a lot of additional interesting, almost not frequently asked questions, but like other stuff that J.K. Rowling didn't find place to include in the books. So she added all that additional information about the characters in places to the website. That's also the place where you can go and get sorted into your house, get your wand, get your Patronus, and so on. So it's a fun place. In addition to that, what they always have, they have fantastic artists working with them and producing the variety of different original arts based on the characters and the creatures. So what they've done in kind of trying to promote those artists and prints, which you can buy off the shop, they also had for this week only, so unfortunately no one can go there right now because I think it closed Friday, annoyingly, but you could go to gallery in the Portobello Road and visit and actually see some of the prints from the artists, and I also attended a talk for the two artists to hear them talk about the creative process and how they got involved, which is very interesting. But more than the actual artwork, I want to mention the paper sculptures.
Oh yeah, I saw you posted pictures of these. They looked amazing.
Yeah, so this is artist called Andy Singleton, and he does paper sculptures, and he did a couple of Harry Potter creatures from paper, and there are pictures on my Twitter account. I'll leave the link in the description as well so you can check it out. And they are fantastic. They're so stunningly beautiful. And at that exhibition, they were actually there. So you can buy prints of them, like a really nice photographs of those paper sculptures, like all staged and positioned, and they're very beautiful. But seeing them live, it was just amazing. They are so beautiful, so delicate. And he also had a film running showing process of him assembling them as well. It's a shame that you can't buy the paper sculptures themselves, because that's That's what I would do instead of actually buying the print. But what can you do? Anyway, so all that saying, check out those on Pottermore or check the paper sculptures on my Twitter feed.
Harry Potter is cool.
I think so too.
I had Hufflepuff for life.
Ravenclaw.
So, I'm so confused. So, the first time the Pottermore opened, I got sorted into Slytherin, and I was like, okay, I am a Slytherin. I'm fine with that. And then they rehashed the whole system, and I came again and got sorted into Gryffindor, and I was like, fine, Gryffindor. And then this week, I tried it again, so I created a new account and got started in the Ravenclaw. What the hell is going on?
So basically, you straddle between the three.
Well, I bet the next time I try, I'll be Hufflepuff.
Well, I did a BuzzFeed quiz and I was like 54% 54% Ravenclaw, 26% Gryffindor, 5% Slytherin, and then the rest was Hufflepuff. It's like, okay, I'm pretty sure I'm slyer than that, but alright.
Yeah, mine was, again, like one of those percentage quizzes things. So I was like mostly Hufflepuff, and then I think Gryffindor and Ravenclaw were like the same. They were like joint second, and then Slytherin was like 1% or something. Yeah, I am not a Slytherin. I would never be a Slytherin. I'm totally Hufflepuff.
I'm totally okay with being Slytherin, but hey, let me know which house you think I'm in, because I'm so confused right now. Not that, this is something that I desperately need to find out for my well-being, but still.
No, I think you'd be in Ravenclaw. I
feel like you'd be in Ravenclaw.
Because you love your books. Yeah.
I know, but I'm not that smart. I'm not smart at all. I don't like puzzles.
You are smart, shut up.
I don't like puzzles.
You're going to be a bloody architect. That's smart. Yeah, that's smart.
Anyway, let's get out of here.
Yeah, so thank you for listening. It's been episode 96 and we got a lot of shout outs this week. So, Alex, do you want to do forums?
Thank you to Stealthy Joe, to Zombaf, to Dermot, to the Q, and Stingo.
Do you want to do the Twitters, Joe?
I can do the Twitters, so a big hello and thank you to Will Driver at WillDriver93 and good old Bleezy at Bleezy Boy. Love you, Bleezy!
Okay, so if you want to get in contact, you can do so on the forums at BigRedBarel.com. You can do so on Twitter at BigRedBarel using the hashtag Geek Speak. You can use our personal Twitters. I am at the Sweet Shrimp.
I'm a Dusty Tulip _.
I'm at Pixel Ritual.
You can also go to YouTube, youtube.com/BigRedBarel, because we post our podcast there. We also have Cookies and Booze, so maybe check that out on a Sunday. They Twitch it and they also upload it to the YouTube channel. You twitch it. You got them twitchy little things. You twitch it. You twitch it. You can also go to Facebook, facebook.com/BigRedBarel. We also have our Gamer Nights groups on there where you can meet some lovely people, play some games like Overwatch, to name just one. You can also go to iTunes and give us a 5 stars would be nice, or anything you think we deserve with a little comment. That would be awesome. We also have Tabletop Tuesday every single week on Tuesday, if you didn't guess, at Loading Bar in Dalston in London. We have a very special event called Tabletop Tuesday where you could go meet some lovely people, play some board games, and win a board game that very evening because we have a new featured game every single week. Alex, what is it this week?
It is Angry Birds Gobbit.
Ah.
Gobbit is kind of similar to Double. It's a little fast, party, fun game. Angry Birds is just the theme that it has it. Don't worry, it's not gonna have anything to do with the display, but we have weeks of board games with video game themes, so that's why it's there. And if you come and participate in any of our games that are in the video game themed for the next weeks, you get entered in a secondary draw, which has a big video gaming goodie bag, which has gotten some additional awesome items since this week, so something probably worth participating.
Nice! Totally should do it. It's always worth it, and there's video-themed cocktails, which are delicious. Also, we are coming up to quite a large milestone, people.
Oh, God.
We're getting old. We're old now.
We're getting old. Oh, so old. So 100 episodes. So in the week, keep an eye on the Twitters, because we may have a little announcement and something for you to give us your feedback on. Because we might be doing something a little special. Just a heads up for you, since it's only, 4 episode time?
God, yeah.
Amazing! So that's in a month. So keep an eye on the Twitters. Right, I think I've covered everything. Have I missed anything, ladies?
You're good.
I think we're good.
So for episode 96 of the reconstituted BigRedBarel Geek Speak podcast, I have been Lauren.
I have been Butts.
Oh, it gets me every time. I've been thinking quite a lot about Bloodborne again. God damn it.
I will bid you goodbye. Bye.
Bye. Bats.
And your ears are quite welcome for the podcasting goodness that you just heard. Why not roll on over to BigRedBarel.com for more podcasts, news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarel.com.